Good evening, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. This is Cool News at 6. I am Caro, and we are live on Cool FM and News Radio 93.1, where we share the latest news headlines that care for you. Let's begin with the headlines. Transport Group Manibela began its transport strike on Friday, earlier than the announced schedule. The group on Wednesday previously announced that it would hold a strike from March 24 Monday to March 26 Wednesday. These moves are in protest of the alleged falsification of the Land Transportation Franchise Regulatory Board on the data of the Public Transport Modernization Program. Manibela President and Senatorial candidate Mark Valbuena told reporters in an interview during a protest, "We began the strike today because of changing schedules of dialogue since Tuesday." The executive assistant of Secretary Jojo Reyes said that they were available on Tuesday and the day after that. He recalled. But Valbuena, despite the schedules, officials of the Department of Transportation and the LTFRB failed to meet them for the dialogue. As a result, the transport group leaders said they will continue the nationwide strike on Monday. Valbuena reported almost everyone who joined the consultation and cooperators were fooled, denied, and scammed. They are with us today, he stressed. In December last year, the LTFRB announced that 86% of all public utility vehicles in the country joined the program. It added that 164,137 consolidated units out of 191,730 PUVs became part of transport cooperatives or corporations. Under the PTMB, jeepney drivers and operators must group themselves together to form cooperatives to avail the program's benefits. Consolidation is part of the process of phasing out traditional jeepneys and replacing them with eco-friendly but more expensive units. The DOTR on Wednesday said it was hoping to conduct a dialogue with Manibela and other transport groups instead of a transport strike. The department said this fund was meant to keep commuters safe and comfortable and to ensure the well-being of the drivers and operators. My line is open. Senator Francis Tolentino expressed his willingness to provide legal assistance to Senator Ronald Bata de la Rosa should an arrest warrant from the International Criminal Court be issued against them. In 2023, Tolentino, a lawyer, said he would stand as a legal counsel for his fellow lawmakers in the probe of the ICC into the bloody war on drugs during the administration of former President Rodrigo Duterte. But in the press conference in Cavite on Friday, Tolentino said he knew De La Rosa had already changed his legal counsel. Tolentino said, "Nabanggit ko yang 2 taon or 3 taon na ang nakaraan, pero may mga lumabas na statements last year na parang pinalitang ako si Senator Bato," said Tolentino. Ang kinukuha nilang abogado ay si Harry Roque. Sa ginang ng pangyayari na yon, ay hindi pa rin kami nakakausap kahit sa text ni Senator De La Rosa, he added. Despite this, he emphasized that he's willing to provide legal advice if De La Rosa needs one. Ng unit, kung siya ay kukuha ng personal kung legal advice ay nanatiling bukas po yung aking cellphone sa kanyang tawag, isa. Pero wala pa po akong nagtatanggap na tawag kahit na isang segundo simula nung nangyari ito, he added. Being Duterte's former top cop, De La Rosa was the one who issued Common Memorandum Circular number 16-2016 when he assumed power as PNP chief. The memo was the basis for Project Double Barrel, which started Duterte's war on drugs. This particular rule landed him on the roster of Duterte administration officials who were accused of crimes against humanity by drug war victims' families before the ICC. Authority Cristina Conti, an ICC assistant to counsel, earlier told Inquirer that De La Rosa could and retired police chief Oscar Albayate could be the next to receive arrest warrants from the ICC for crimes against humanity over the rules in the previous administration's drug war. Conti said there are three names mentioned in the ICC documents. These are Duterte, De La Rosa, and Ampayade. There are three additional names of police officers who are allegedly involved as well, but the documents pertaining to them are still unofficial. Thai authorities last month arrested Saron Rosas and his wife Marve following the revocation of the permission to stay in Thailand and implementation of Interpol Red Notice issued by the National Bureau issued by the National Center Bureau Manila. The notice was issued for Saron, who has 155 outstanding warrants of arrest in the Philippines for syndicated estafa. The couple was arrested by the Royal Thai Police at the residence in Phetchaburi. During the press conference of the Royal Thai Immigration Bureau, the Thai government determined that there were sufficient grounds to revoke the couple's temporary stay because they are fugitives and wanted by a foreign government. The couple is already placed on the list of prohibited persons. According to reports, Rosas was the president and CEO of Organico Agribusiness Ventures Corporation in the Philippines. The company has been accused of operating a Ponzi scheme where investors' returns are deprived from new investors' funds. Allegedly promised a double your money investment, starting with a 3,600 peso payment for a piglet, which would increase to 7,000 after 3 months. The company also utilized crowdfunding to offer shares. Rosas is also reportedly running a business in Thailand as the managing director of ERA Phetchaburi, a commercial real estate firm. In 2021, the Securities and Exchange Commission identified the company as Ponzi scheme. The Department of Justice found probable cause to charge Organico and its officers, including Marve Rosas, by including violations of the Securities Regulation Code in relation to the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. The DOJ resolution on September 3, 2021 stated that the business operations carried out by respondent Organico is in the form of a Ponzi scheme whereby purported returns to existing investors are called from funds contributed by new investors. The Foreign Affairs Division discovered that the Rosas couple first entered Thailand as tourists on May 19, 2019. Since then, they have exited and re-entered the country multiple times to extend or renew the visa, depending on the type of visa granted. During the stay in Thailand, several OFWs were also lured into the scheme. However, no former complaints were filed against them in Thailand. During questioning, the Rosas couple stated that they were executives of an investment company in the Philippines. They claimed that their business involved raising funds but later encountered severe financial difficulties, leading to significant loss. After arrest warrants were issued against them, they fled to Thailand. The Philippine Embassy and the police attache Colonel Dominator Matalang expressed their gratitude to the Thai authorities. Matalang said, "This operation manifests the unwavering commitment of our law enforcement agencies in enduring partnership between the Philippines and Thailand in combating transnational crimes. We are grateful for the excellent coordination and collaboration between the Royal Thai Police and the Office of the Police Attache under the Embassy of the Republic of the Philippines. This joint effort sends a clear message that Thailand is not a safe haven for criminals or for those who have violated the law. The police will catch you if you have done something illegal. You can't escape the long arm of the law." The couple is currently detained at the Immigration Detention Center in Bangkok while awaiting deportation. And it would be impossible for former President Rodrigo Duterte to seek asylum in China and Hong Kong, former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said on Friday. Roque noted that China did not implement the 1951 Convention on the Rights of Refugees and Asylum Seekers. It would be impossible for Tata Ding Dong to apply there because there is no machinery for the application of asylum in China and Hong Kong, Roque said in a Facebook post in Filipino. Roque remarked as GMA News reported that Duterte tried to seek asylum before he was arrested by the International Criminal Court. Vice President Sara Duterte previously denied that Duterte sought asylum to China. It's now 6:20 and we will return with more news highlights all the way until 7 p.m. right here on koolNews at 6 after the break. let's continue with the headlines. And yes, we have before we continue, we have a brand new table. And yeah, what you are seeing right now is a table, and you will be seeing the brand new camera system in a bit. But in the meantime, let's continue with the headlines. Former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said on Friday that the empty complaint filed against him is proof of prosecution that will strengthen the grounds for the granting of his asylum in the Netherlands. Roque referred to the supplemental complaint affidavit filed before the Department of Justice in October last year over his alleged involvement in the Philippine offshore gaming operator activities. Roque said in a Facebook post, "The supplemental complaint against me is obviously a last-ditch effort to pressure me to prove a prosecution because it has no merit. Um, Surely my asylum will be granted. I would bet on it." Roque recently sought asylum in the Netherlands. He also addressed the arrest order from the House of Representatives after being cited for contempt and ordered detained due to his failure to submit documents that would justify the alleged Senate increase in his wealth. The Lord Chamber issued a subpoena ordering Roque to submit his SLAN from 2016 to 2022, his wife Mayla's income tax returns from 2014 to 2022, and the respective medical certificates, the extrajudicial settlement of the state, including tax returns of his late aunt, and the deed of sale with tax returns and transfer of property of the 1.8 hectare property in the multinational village Paranaque that his family sold. Okay. Let's continue. Roque said, "I just don't want to give the documents which have nothing to do with the congressional investigation that will put my life and that of my family in danger because kidnapping for ransom is now out in the open again." Roque left the country last year. He then made his first public appearance in The Hague, Netherlands on March 14th to visit arrested former President Rodrigo Duterte. Okay, whoever's the camera operator, Asterix, can you try moving the camera? Because you were able to control the camera before, so you should try controlling the camera in this angle you are seeing right now. Yeah, the camera operator, you can try operating it because yeah. Anyways, let's continue. Oh yeah, Stelix, try moving the camera because when we were while we were in a break, I was observing that the camera was able. I was observing that someone is able to move the camera while doing the point of view as well. So yeah. Anyway, let's now continue with the next headline. As President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. led the inspection on Friday of the ongoing construction of the Cavite Laguna Expressway Governor's Drive interchange. Marcos assessed the progress of the expressway project alongside other heads of relevant agencies during the inspection, according to the President Communications Office. According to the Metro Pacific Tollways Corp, the construction of CalLEX Governor's Drive interchange is already 44% complete. CalLEX is a 44.6-kilometer four-lane expressway which aims to improve connectivity between Cavite and Laguna. Upon completion, the expressway is seen to ease traffic on major thoroughfares such as Governor's Drive, Aguinaldo Highway, and Santa Rosa Gataytay Road, and is also expected to reduce travel time between Cavitex and SLEX by around 45 minutes. Okay, hold on. Okay, before we continue, I'm gonna remind the camera operator. Hey, can you test with the camera angle if we can move it alone because I was able to observe the camera angle being moved around while it was moving around. So yeah. Okay, just making sure because we are still stuck at this angle, but while we're catching up with the headlines. Surigao del Norte Second District Representative Johnny Pimentel has rebuffed Sagittarius Representative Dante Marcoleta after the latter questioned why news outlets were no longer invited by the fee committee, noting that they were present during the previous hearing but were not questioned. During Friday's hearing of the House of Representatives Tri Committee, Marcoleta asked why representatives from the Philippine Daily Inquirer and the Philippine Star were not present. When Pimentel said that they were not invited, Marcoleta asked why the committee secretary decided on their own, uh, yeah, on their own to refrain from asking the two national uh, broadsheets to show up. Okay, we're in a different angle, it seems. So we will have to like control it ourselves then. Okay. Try going to the same seat. Try going to the same seat. Starlex. Starlex. Try going to the same seat. Yeah. Try going to the same seat, Starlex. Yes, I can't. Man, I cannot zoom in right now. Okay. Back to the headline. Marcoleta said, Mr. Chair, I remember also the committee committed during the last hearing that I attended that we will also invite representatives of Philippine Inquiry and Philippine Star because of the issue that I raised. I raised then the issue that we are not only concerned with the fake news and the false narratives and false information being peddled in our society, but we are concerned as well with the truth that is being suppressed. Representative Marcoleta, according to the COMSEC, the representatives from Philippine Daily Inquirer and the Philippine Star were present during the last hearing. However, accordingly, there were no members who asked questions to them, so that maybe we can invite them next time, Pimentel said. We did not include them anymore today because they were already present during the last hearing. Pimentel added, Marcoleta then asked why the lack of lawmakers who asked the two newspapers was used as a basis to stop inviting the representatives. In response, Pimentel said another set of resource persons were invited for Friday's discussions. Pimentel said we required them to attend the last hearing, and now we have invited other resource persons. According to COMSEC, the Philippine Daily Inquirer and the Philippine Star were not invited. May we know the reason why they were not invited today? The COMSEC has the liberty to decide on this, or the chairpersons are the ones authorities to decide on whether to invite people or not, Marcoleta asked. Congress Marcoleta, you know the process. For every hearing, we have a set of resource persons to be invited. It is already very clear that they were not invited today because, to be fair with them, they were present during the last hearing and nobody asked questions. Kaya na hindi na sila inventa because we are focusing on other resource persons. Bimatal fired back. And a vlogger claimed that extrajudicial killings or EJKs related to the drug war are hoax, but lawmakers from the House of Representatives Squad Committee questioned her for not providing any documentary evidence to back it up. At the hearing of the House Tri Committee on Friday, vlogger MJ Ambo Reyes was quizzed by Manila 6th District Representative Bienvenido Abante Jr. about her allegations that EJKs are not true, which she said were based on claims of former President Rodrigo Duterte supporters that a woman lied about her son dying during the drug war. Abante is one of the four co-chairpersons of the Quad Committee that probed alleged abuse in Duterte's drug war. About the Torres, I am going to complete reading this. The so-called EJK victims under President Duterte are massive hawks. Sa akin, mali. I have documents to show. Right now, you show it, please. Yes, Your Honor, that is your truth, and I also have my truths, Reyes said. My basis for that was the new information coming out on social media where those allegedly killed in EJK instance, the parents would show pictures of the children who died in EJK incidents were actually not connected to EJK and others are still alive. Did you attend any Quadcom hearing? The relatives of EJK victims were there and held a prayer line. About to ask, what's hard with what you are doing is you are grabbing news items and then you're going to put up another opinion you want to let the people believe is the truth. Autoqui Embo cited news reports, another committee chairperson, upon Lingkod Paredes, Representative Joseph Stephen Paduano asked the vlogger if she has actual copies of the documents instead of merely relying on articles. Kui Ambo said, Your Honor, if I'm not mistaken, nasa newspaper na rin po yan. If it's in the newspaper, but what I am asking you is what is the source of that newspaper? Is it an official document or findings of the Human Rights Commission? Madam, absolutely not. Because during our hearing in the Quadcom, all those victims, the families present were confirmed by the Human Rights Commission. In fact, we have all the lists Paduano encountered. Ampante noted that aside from the Commission on Human Rights, his own panel, the House Committee on Human Rights, also verified the existence of drug war victims and possible EJKs. Ampante said, My goodness, if you would like to be a resource person in this committee, you need to bring a basis. You have to have a true basis, documents to back your claims, because look, the Commission on Human Rights, for example, they investigated the alleged EJKs and they saw many incidents. We in our Committee on Human Rights, we also saw several issues. But you are saying it's a massive hoax. Don't do this. I want to believe your statement earlier, but what you are saying is not good, he added. In the end, Kui Ambo admitted that she does not have any document proving that EJKs were a hoax. But Duana warned, what I am asking you is if you have the document or not, yes or no. Do you have a document under oath? Yes or no? And remember, I am just asking you if you have the document or not under oath. None, sir. Like I said, it's in the newspaper, Kui Ambo replied. Now I know next time before we write these issues, we need to get the judgment documents first. Ambo did not mention it, but recently the Duterte supporters criticized a certain Aling Sheila as they believe that one of her sons, Ryan, was not a victim of EJKs in the drug war. Sheila supposedly raised a photo of her son Ryan during a back picture taking at a press conference on the alleged EJKs committed by the Duterte administration. Later on, it was discovered that Ryan actually died in 2024, or 2 years after Duterte had already stepped down from his presidential post. But Brooklyn Lidao, coordinator of Rise Up for Life and for Rights, said it was Rico, another son of Alan Sheila, and not Ryan, who was killed during the time of the previous administration. The Troy Committee has been tasked to prompt the spread of this information online after several resolutions were filed and different speeches about the matter were delivered. It is now 6:42 p.m. as we will return with more news headlines right here on koolNews at 6 after the break. Okay, we are experiencing technical difficulties as we speak. The playout has stopped working. We are working out on that. We are trying to figure out what went wrong here. Yeah, the play it just out of nowhere just stopped working. So we'll be back shortly. In the meantime, so yeah, therapy, therapy. Fix the playout. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, once again, we are experiencing some very technical difficulties right now. So yeah, okay. Once again, we are experiencing severe technical difficulties. I repeat, we are we are currently experiencing technical difficulties. Okay, we will be back right now. Stand by. I'm trying to quit the program, but we are severely, really experiencing some technical difficulties. Okay, we'll be back right now. Okay, you hear that? Right, you hear that? We were the player will be back up in a few moments, but in the meantime, we'll be back to the program now. continue. Actually, before we continue, we would like to apologize for severe technical difficulties during the commercial break, and that's why it was really a delay in continuing the program. But yeah, we will get back up and running in a bit. All right, so as we are heading into the last 5 minutes of the program, let's get into the international headline. A former surgeon on trial in France for sexually abusing hundreds of patients, most under 15, has admitted guilt for all 299 victims, one of his lawyers said on Thursday. Joe de Scott Arnex, age of 74, has been on trial in the western city of Venice since early March in one of the country's largest child sex abuse cases. He is charged with assaulting or raping the patients, many while under anesthesia or waking up after operations at a dozen hospitals between 1989 and 2014. Lesko, our next said during Thursday's trial behind closed doors, his lawyer Maximin Tesser told AFP, I have a duty to tell the truth. I have a duty to tell the truth. Tesser said he had asked Lesko Arnes if he admitted that the numerous people mentioned in notebooks seized by investigators were all potential victims of his acts, and he said yes. I asked him if he agreed that the 299 charges were criminal offenses, and he said yes. Until now, Les Arnex had only admitted to his guilt on a case-by-case basis as the proceedings of progress, with attention focused on the notebooks in which he meticulously recorded the abuse he inflicted on his victims. During the investigation, he had denied many of the accusations, insisting he was merely performing his medical duties. Tessier said, I asked the court to record in the minutes of the proceedings that Mr. Lee Skorarnex had admitted his guilt for the 299 charges. Admission is a crucial step in allowing victims to move on, and it's good that it has happened at this stage of the trial, said Frederick Gifford, a lawyer representing around 15 civil parties. I think that he finally understood by listening to the civil parties taking the stand over the last 10 days that he was not going to be able to credibly maintain his position on continuing to deny the facts in certain cases. Gifford told AFP. The former sergeant is already in jail, having been found guilty in 2020 of abusing 4 children, including 2 of his nieces. The sergeant was never investigated during his career despite a 2005 sentence for owning sexually abusive images of children. He continued to work until his retirement in 2017, after which a 6-year-old accused him of rape and police discovered diary accounts of abuse stored on his computers. This is koolNews at 6 as we are heading over to the showbiz now. Over a year after joining his show business, Andres Mulaj has also delved into music as he dropped his rendition of Hot Dog's classic hit, Ikaw ang Miss Universe ng Buhay Ko. Andres, one half of the twins of celebrity couple Alka Mulaj and Charlene Gonzalez, released the track under Viva Records on Friday, March 21. It can now be streamed on all digital music platforms. The record label said in the caption, join gushing fans who praised Andres' singing chops in the comment section. Ikaw na nga talaga ang tunay na Miss Universe ni Andres. Andres' version of the OPM song aims to reintroduce to the young generation of the Manuel sound, the musical genre that flourished during the 1970s. Hot Dog, one of the most recognized bands at the time, released the song amid the popularity of the Miss Universe beauty pageant. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now 7 p.m. and that will be it for koolNews at 6 tonight. We will return with more news headlines with the late and newscast of koolNews Prime Time later at 12 a.m. midnight the next day. Coming up next on Cool FM is the continuation of the Creamy Show. Until then, I am Caro. Good evening.